Hello, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. So, today I'm going to do a past life regression therapy session for you guys. And this reading is really going to help bring awareness to your past life, the one that most wants to be brought awareness to right now, as well as the way that it is coming into your current life right now, hopefully helping you to understand some of the cycles and patterns that you have been experiencing. I have this piece of petrified wood that I received from the Petrified Forest in Arizona, and this stone has asked me to do this reading today. The energy is very strong, very ancient, and is millions of years old, and has seen cultures and experiences on the planet that we have not. Acting as one of my spirit guides on a regular basis, I'm very grateful for the stone and will be channeling messages from the spirit of this piece of petrified wood today. With that being said, please use your intuition with any and all messages that come through, as we are all part of the same collective, therefore all in a sense experience the same things. It is important that you take what resonates. Use this as an opportunity to pick up your own intuitive messages, as well as keep an open mind and know that you are always in the right place at the right time. Everything that you hear and pick up on and experience is for a reason. And also, know that you are divinely guided, loved, and protected. Protected is a strong one. This petrified wood would like to let you know that no matter what you have gone through, no matter what you go through, and no matter what you find out, you are protected. It wants to say, I was once a tree and am now a crystal. I have seen lava and plasma and doom and death and destruction more than you can count in this earthly plane, and I am still here. I spend almost all of my time alone for millions and millions of years. I have seen creatures that you can only fathom. I have seen death, I have seen birth, I have seen light, I have seen darkness. And I would like to come through today to help bring you a special message so that you can understand that when you put things into perspective, nothing is really good or bad. Everything just is. This petrified wood says it knows that it is colorful and beautiful and a rare piece of stone or crystal, but in order for crystallization to occur, so did a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of forced observation, a lot of gentle, slow, and painful healing. Some parts of this stone feel beautiful while other parts do not, but at this point, everything just is. This stone loves you very much if you are here watching this, and is very excited to get some things off of its chest as it pertains to Earth's ancient cultures and civilizations, which I'm guessing a few of you might be related to in some past life or another. This crystal is saying yes, definitely, that's why they are here. You feel called, and it is time. Without further ado, I'm going to start the past life regression session now. And please use your intuition to pick the pile you feel most drawn to first, the stone would like to say you might feel called to all of them, a couple of them, more than one, or just one. So use this as an opportunity to dive into the ether, use your intuition, and release all which is stressful and unknown. This is an opportunity for you to soar through other parts of your being, and it's okay if you resonate with more than one pile. With that being said, I'd like to get into the reading now, and I will list the timestamps below. So, there will be 3 readings. Please select either group number 1 with the Herb Crafters Tarot, group number 2 with the Antique Anatomy Tarot, or group number 3 with the Star Spinner Tarot. Thank you so much again for being here. I, as well as this Petrified Wood, are grateful to be sharing an energy with you today. Energy exchange is a valuable and very, very precious thing. So thank you, with all of the love and gratitude in existence. And I will see you at your reading. We will see you at your reading. Hi there, group 1. So if you selected this pile with the Herb Crafters Tarot, then this is your reading for your Past Life Regression session. So we'll be taking a look at the summation of the energy, notable events that have affected this or affected you, and we will see the ripple effect that this has had into your current incarnation. I did download a quick message about what we'll be channeling today, and that is that there are little to no known remnants of this culture remaining on the planet Earth today. This culture was very, very abundant and lived alongside the earth in harmony. There was abundance in a way that was not known to us today. There was enough to go around and then some. Lack could not even be fathomed, particularly in food and agriculture. Agriculture wasn't even necessary. Foraging for food was normal and not difficult, as one wouldn't even have to look. I'm also getting that this culture was very gentle, very loving, very understanding, very in tune with the spirits of the earth, the spirit of the wind, the spirit of fire, the spirit of every single thing that they ate, they consumed, they lived alongside, and they honored them accordingly as their family. I'm also getting that this culture was destroyed in some kind of fiery plasma or event brought about by fire and heat. It's almost as if this culture was melted in some way, shape, or form. Now, I will pull these cards and get into a summation of the energy. So, this will be a summation of the energy as experienced by the culture, the timeline, and the time period as a whole. Feel free to use your intuition, please, to pick up on the messages that resonate particularly with you in your area within this culture. For example, you could pick up from what I say here about a job that you had, or an energy that resonated particularly with you, or a word that I say that stands out. Please use your intuition as I channel these messages, as they are both specific and general at the same time. I'm being told now, before I turn the cards over, not to take reversals. So if I see a card that is reversed, I will be turning it upright to allow the energy to align in the way that it wishes to come out. With that being said, let's get into your reading. The bottom of the deck energy, first of all, well, I said don't start there. It's the Six of Wands. So you have the Seven of Cups. Anything is possible, a lot of options, particularly with the Six of Wands here. Five of Air. Five of Swords. There was so much that was being created. So much memory and stories are very significant. I'm seeing people sit around fire, sharing stories of their ancestors, their cultures, their spiritual beliefs, creation stories. And the Fool, faith. Faith in the earth, faith in the universe, faith in a higher power to provide. Everything that was needed was provided for, and this stemmed largely from faith. Now on this Six of Water here, I'm noticing a woman making an offering to the heavens out of a coconut. There were offerings that were made, and it was believed that this brought in manifestations, this brought in abundance, this brought in rain and sunshine and weather and beauty. And in this culture, if the universe and the earth was happy and provided for, then they would be happy and provided for. Seven of Cups indicates having a lot of options, a lot of intuitive gifts, and a lot of steadfast love, unconditional love. And there's a book here with several full cups, which indicate that knowledge of occultism, intuition, and spirituality was very, very prominent in this culture. In fact, that's one of the things that was passed down. I'm seeing children sitting with an elder, learning to practice their skills in clairvoyancy, clairaudience, connecting with the earth, the spirit of the wind, their ancestors. Five of Swords here indicates that there was a lot that was left unsaid. For example, I'm hearing that there was some sort of coming of age ritual, or there was certain knowledge that only got passed down once you had earned a specific place in your life or had come to a particular age. This knife, about ready to harvest some of this plant, and this is the card of White Sage, indicates that they were very careful and diligent about which information went where, because there was a lot of it. In some way, shape, or form, there was so much knowledge of the workings of alchemy here that almost anything can be transformed. I'm hearing the phrase, turn a man into a butterfly. And I'm thinking of the possibility of alchemy and anything being possible through great faith. These rocks are really standing out, and they're saying to me, they're showing monoliths or what I would recognize as maybe a meditation garden. A place where one would go either in their solitude for meditation and growth, or with a group of people as a celebration for a particular turning of event or season. Now, the Six of Wands indicates that there was a lot of material and sacral abundance here. This was a highly, highly populated civilization. And there was a lot of fire. They used to celebrate through fire, I'm getting. What would destroy them, what could destroy them, is exactly what brought life. And they were aware of this. Primordial chaos was the inherent nature of this society. They did not fear death. They did not fear destruction. In fact, they welcomed it because it meant something new. It meant a birth. There's a lot of orange here. This culture was not shy sexually. They loved to create things, work with their hands, and they were very, very in tune with alchemy, cycles, and fate. They were connected highly to the Akashic records, particularly the elders, and it was not uncommon for there to be an oracle or a psychic or someone with spiritual gifts. In fact, more often than not, 9 people out of 10 would be what is now today considered an oracle. Awareness, understanding, and acceptance of fate and the Akashic records was commonplace at this time. And with the borage here in this champagne or wine, I'm seeing poppy seeds, or poppies, in my mind. There could have been utilization of substances, particularly opium, at this time or in this culture. And dandelions, the flowers are edible, and this is leading me to believe that this culture was largely plant-based, and they trusted that every single plant, every single thing that grew on this earth chose to be where it was and chose to be consumed when it was, and the response that it gave its consumer, whether it be boosting its confidence, filling its hunger, creating a psycho awareness, whether it created a mental, emotional, physical reaction, was an intentional response from the plant. I'm getting that there was an energy of, if the plant chose to be psychedelic that day while consumed, and then the consumer would experience a psychedelic effect. If the plant chose to be toxic and was consumed, then it was deliberate that this would happen. And I'm also getting that it was understood this was not always the case. One could consume a plant meant to fill hunger and it choose not to fulfill that role. A plant could be consumed with the intention of having what is the word? Psychedelic or similar effects, and the plant choose not to carry out that role. There was an idealization that every human and every plant and every bug and every tree, its life was just as important as everything else. In fact, each had a consciousness, and each came from the same beating heart that lied within the earth. You have the Moon card. The Two of Pentacles. And the Queen of Cups. I had to check the guidebook. This is actually the Knight of Cups. And Adelita means warrior. So this is a water warrior. Warrior of intuition, of the spiritual realms, of emotions. Now with the Moon ruling intuition, this culture very much lived by the Moon, very, very much honored her as part of their family. They mourned her loss when she was not seen, and they welcomed her and celebrated her when she was full in the sky. I'm getting that they also believed that the Moon chose to show up when she did, and chose to leave when she did. Two of Earth indicates that anything or anyone could choose its destiny, whether or not to fulfill the path that had been written for it, although there is something written for everything and everyone. So they believed. There's an element of the humans being very much aware that they are here to care for the other things. And they did. They fulfilled their mission and then some, which is why there was no shortage of food. They would build nests and houses for the birds. I'm seeing caverns and nests for bears, for wildcats, for other beings. And they would even make them beautiful with their own creations. Perhaps weaving beautiful jewelry and adorning them onto their favorite tree or onto animals as a thank you, as they would with their elders and their warriors. There is an element here of the unknown, and I'm calling attention to this Taurus here. They were very much aware that everything was collective and connected. But a Taurus is also the entrance of a black hole, of a wormhole. And I'm seeing that there was so much growth until a singular event horizon, or a singular event or occurrence that was both predicted but unstoppable, and it was welcomed with peace. It was welcomed with open arms, because this was the will of the Moon, the will of the sun. I'm seeing here on the Seven of Water this, like these tally marks here, almost as though it was known that one would not always be here, that this culture was a fleeting moment in time, and through that every moment was welcomed immediately and graciously and fully. this culture fully embraced all things of pleasure, all things abundant, and they were very confident in their sense of who they were, knowing that it could be lost forever. Although I'm hearing some still had faith that they would be carried on, however, just in a different way. Whether this be a belief in reincarnation, or that lone survivor who would live to tell the tale. With the Knight of Cups and this pitcher pouring into a cup, there is the energy of knowing spiritually that once something exists, it always exists. These were advanced and practiced alchemists, and they left their imprint on the earth. They left their imprint in the Akashic records. In fact, I'm getting that many of the plants that we consume today were because of them. When you have a plant with one feature and a plant with another feature, and you cross culture them in order to create something new, I'm hearing that there are many things that we consume today that were very literally created and alchemized for nutritional density by this culture. And that there are a lot of things that this culture has contributed to the earth that has permeated through the earth, that is now considered common and just of the earth. And the secrets have not been revealed of the fact that this culture even existed in the first place. The fact that this culture tended to the earth in such a way that it changed what grew, it changed the agriculture, it spoke with the birds, it listened to the butterflies, it followed the wind, and it lived fully through pleasure. There were rules, but the laws were that of nature. Nothing that man could think up, because thought was considered destructive. Experience and observation was considered positive and a learning experience. And there was a great balance between spirituality and groundedness, because they were one and the same. They were alchemized together. And I'm hearing the message, if you look up at the moon, she always has been and always will be, and you will see us through there if you look. For we never really left, just as we were never really here. This is a very grounded and loving civilization. I'm going to take a look at the ripple effect into the current incarnation using my tiny tarot. Can I get some flyers, please? The bottom two. No reversals again, they're saying. They want the bottom two here. The top four here. And the last one, Ace of Cups. Okay. Oh, we have the Six of Cups, Nine of Cups, Six of Swords. We'd like to first draw my attention to the Ace of Cups. This culture has brought forward into today love for the earth. There are cultures that existed that we consider to be ancient that are largely recognizable today, that learned their love for the planet, of the earth, of the spirits, of the wind and the sun and the moon and the earth and each other from this culture. A love for love, this a deep sense of grieving due to a deep sense of appreciation and knowledge that everything is perfect. This love has been so solidified into the earth that the descendants, physically and spiritually or energetically, of this culture have such a love, a love for celebration, a love for seeing candles and fire and occultism and connection with ancestors, particularly the sun. They believe that the sun was their first ancestor. We got the Six of Cups twice. We have 696, which indicates that the ripple effect that this culture has had is a hope for the future, regardless of what has happened in the past. It's an energy of knowing that because when things go 180, they must complete the cycle. When something goes up, it must come down. There is this deep surrender to the will of the universe, to the will of a higher power. I'm hearing that connection to the spirits has been lost. The spirits of the wind and the fire and every individual plant, like speaking to the animals and to the plants and every individual part of the plant. And there's a fear of this red string of fate because of the past. And I'm seeing these three fires, and the first thing that I channeled here was that there are little to no remnants of this culture remaining on the planet Earth, and they were destroyed in a fiery plasma. And so there's this hope that what has died will be reborn. And fire also indicates creation, spirituality, and creativity. So happily, this culture released themselves and the knowledge that something new would be reborn, just as when a plant dies, it goes back into the earth, or it becomes food. Either way, it goes back into the earth and grows something new that becomes food, and grows something new that becomes food. There's this great energy of acceptance. And I'm hearing, don't cry for me, for we're still watching, we're still here. This energy loves to connect with children, as they are usually more in tune with their spiritual, psychic, and mediumship abilities as we know them today. And there are a lot of energies from this culture, particularly ancestors sitting around that fire that I saw earlier, who were aware that this would happen. And they chose to send love and guidance and friendship, camaraderie to those who would receive their energy. We have the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands. I'm hearing the term Demon Slayer in my head, so this could be the energy of very strong alchemists and mediums who have put a protective seal around those they have chosen to accept their truth, accept their energy, and those who have a purified heart, or those who are hurting the most, but those sweet, tender, gentle ones who need it. The Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Six of Wands, again, to close off the reading. I didn't expect this to go this way, but they want to say something. And it's that what has been shall be again. And not to have fear in the cycles, because what goes up must come down, but also as within, so without. The best thing that can be done is finding personal fulfillment and having faith for the future, even if you, your culture, your loved ones, your society as you know it is not involved in that. They're very aware of they want me to say potential near apocalyptic event that has been brought to the awareness of their elders as well as ours about the climate change and the way that the earth has been treated. And while it's true that love had been replaced with money in several societies, this is also the natural flow of things. If we tend to the earth will tend to us. This could bring a want for humanitarianism, for ecological efforts, for unconditional love, a want to travel and see the entire world, a desire to see what you can do just in your everyday life that will make things a little bit better in the way they feel, a little nicer in the words that you speak, and something spiritual every day. And there were no pentacles except for the Two of Earth that showed up in this reading. And that indicates that even though we live in a physical realm, the physical is only the smallest part. And although things may become difficult, and it seems that there's a battle going on between right and wrong, good and evil, the sun and the moon, they've never really been fighting. In fact, they've never been able to get close enough to each other for that to be the case. Instead, we are reminded that they're partaking in a delicate dance, which they have consciously chosen. And if we are subjected to that, we should be nothing but grateful. The best thing that we can do is honor the moon, honor the flowers, honor the life. And maybe, just maybe, if it is the will of the universe, unconditional love. Oh my goodness. Unconditional love can change what is seen on an everyday level. We have 69, which is the symbol for Cancer, for home, water, of the moon. And this is a reminder that the earth is our mother. And just like everything and everyone, at some point too, she must die. And she will also be reborn into something new. Of course, things will always follow the natural cycle of life. No matter who you are or where you are reading this is why you feel inclined to move towards love, because there's this great remembrance and sorrow and also appreciation and gratitude. Knowledge that everything doesn't last forever. Nothing can, nothing will. And that could be why, perhaps, there is a great feeling of coexisting despair and hope. Because you really see in society right now all that is right and perfect and all that is wrong and terrible, and you know that on top of everything, everything is still perfect. But also, there's this deep sense of knowledge of alchemy here that knows that there is a change that could be made, that you can be the spirit of the moon and you can raise the tides, that you can speak with a plant and you can receive the nutrients and the medicine and the knowledge that you need by asking it. Same with your ancestors, same with this culture, same with any person or any energy that exists on this realm. You could feel very connected with plants or animals or the earth or the water, or connected with things that are not people as if they are people, because deep down there's an awareness and resonance that they are. They always have been. What goes around comes around, and that is all that is true. And that's why you continue standing up, you continue putting yourself first and making yourself happy and making sure that you live through abundance, even though it might be difficult to allocate at these times. It is there if we ask for it and we look in the right places. A lot of this knowledge has been hidden from us for a reason, but it's still within your DNA. The knowledge is out there. If you look and you find out where to look and you know where to look and you learn. Everything has always been victorious and everything has always been perfect. And this culture is aware of the fact that there is nothing left of them today. There are barely ruins of their descendants that live today. In fact, they're largely debated upon. This culture knows that everything is perfect, everything is divine, and everything goes according to plan. Any different belief is merely a dissociation from the resonance and conscious decision of the sun, the moon, and the earth. Wow, I want to cry right now. Group 1, I'm going to leave your reading there. I really hope that this helped shed some light and love onto your soul and its origins or places it's experienced, people it's experienced. And I hope that this, at the very least, activated something within you, your soul, your memory, your intuition. And if some messages stood out more than others, or you received your own messages from this, please take that and know that everything is perfect, as are you, and everything that always has been always will be. So move through love. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste. Hi there, and namaste to those of you who selected Group 2. If you selected this group, then your tarot deck is the Antique Anatomy Tarot. And this immediately gives me a sense of knowledge, particularly of biomechanics, and a heightened understanding of the human body, form, and system. Now, the channeled messages that I picked up before I began your group are that this was a scholarly culture that existed alongside modern seeming technology, but they chose instead to omit use of technological machinery for devotional purposes. They were wise, intellectual, and technologically advanced, but used more of a spiritual and scholarly approach as opposed to one of mechanics. I also picked up that ruins still remain today, as well as artifacts, but they have been misnamed or misidentified since most of the information and remnants of their culture was deliberately destroyed. With that being said, I will go ahead and pull these cards, and I'm going to take a look at a summation of the energy as well as notable events that affected you during this past life. Now, please remember to use your intuition, and there might be messages in here just for you, and there might be messages in here that you pick up that resonate with you in any way, shape, or form. For example, if a particular job or energy resonates with you, take what your intuition tells you and leave what your intuition does not resonate with. Also, if you are able to pick up on any additional messages, please leave them in the comments so that you can share this with other people, and perhaps they might resonate with it as well too. Especially since we're deep diving today. So, as I said, we'll be looking at a summation of the energy of the time period and culture as a whole, as well as notable events or energies that will have carried on to you, and then we'll be looking at the ripple effect into your current incarnation, or the ripple effect that being connected with this past energy will have onto you. So, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. Interesting. So, this is a culture that had to fight for their ability to maintain sovereignty. They needed to speak their truth. They were highly, highly educated, but they chose to omit technology, mechanical technology. And because of this, they were seen differently. They were seen as outcasts from a larger portion of the world, or society as they knew it then. Through this, they found a sense of freedom and a sense of enlightenment. God, source, spirituality, and astrology, astronomy, psychology, philosophy were all very, very important to this culture. And they were able to obtain a lot of higher truths, higher knowledge, and higher perspectives, as well as having access to, I'm hearing, cities, which are the, they call them yogic superpowers, but these are premonitions, as well as having visions, having the ability to give others visions, some of which include some very miraculous deeds. There is an energy here of lack of total fulfillment, however, due to the amount of spirituality and lack of groundedness. Almost in a librarian monk kind of way. Now, to look at the cards that came out here, it seems that we have the Four of Wands, the Two of Coins, the Hermit, and the Sun to start off. We have the Three of Coins, the Ace of Swords, the Empress, and the Five of Pentacles. So this really indicates that there was a sense of fulfillment here. There was a sense of having everything together and being able to see what was going to happen before it did, being able to know the root cause of anything that was going on, and in a way, this almost taking the joy out of life. Three of Coins indicates building something. I'm hearing a sovereign empire. And Four of Rods can be the 1111 card, a wish come true, dream come true, spiritual union, perfect balance between masculine and feminine, yin and yang. With Two of Coins and Ace of Swords, there is an energy here of the sense of self being connected to spirituality for the collective consciousness of this group of people as a whole. Chrysanthemums and daisies. Well, chrysanthemums indicate death and rebirth, while daisies indicate not taking things too seriously, light-hearted energy. So there is significant indication of a strong spiritual ability that was commonplace among these people. However, because of this, the sense of self was so intertwined with the feminine chakras, and this was, of course, grounded into reality. However, there was almost a lack of pleasure, a lack of groundedness, a lack of stability, which is ultimately what led to the destruction or overturning of this society. They wanted me to use the word overturning. Let's see, with the Hermit and the Empress, we have another 9 here, which can indicate healing, spending time alone, but also being guarded. This is very significant, and I'm noticing that the skull on this Hermit card is larger and almost reminiscent of Nephilim or giant skulls that have been found. But I'm hearing no in my head. But with the Hermit, there was a rite of passage where one would, in groups, as they came of age, would go spend time alone in meditation and with fire, and they would burn that which they already knew in order to bring birth to a new version of themselves, a new form, a new life. With the Hermit being clarified by the Empress here, this indicates that this was then used to create something new. A new body, a new mind, a new spirit, and everything was done from the spiritual realm first. Healing of injuries, manifestation of food, even agriculture, everything was faith first. And because of this, there was a lot of occult and currently unknown or misunderstood knowledge that was commonplace to the society. It was very important or very common for one to see, know, and understand truths, but less common for them to speak truths. I'm getting that there was not much communication between members of the society, although what each of them craved most of all was individuality, an independent and unique sense of self. They were so beautifully tuned into the collective consciousness that individually they didn't have a unique sense of self to communicate, and therefore didn't communicate except out of necessity. And I'm getting there was a lot of vibrational and telepathic messaging going on as well too. This could have been carried forward, if you are a person who is prone to empathy, spiritual gifts, telepathy, being able to connect with the higher selves of others who are not in tune with this gift, animal communication, plant communication, and energy work. Now, the Five of Coins here indicates that with all of the spiritual abundance, there was a lack of fulfillment. There was an energy of not knowing everything, but not knowing how to create with the hands, not knowing how to stand firmly on the ground and surrender to the ground beneath you. Because I'm hearing in this time levitation was possible. Spiritual developments past our current knowledge were possible and even commonplace. This community would be likely considered filled with brahmanas, which would be monks, priests, spiritualists, religious devotees. But everyone was raised this way. This was beautiful, and there was enjoyment and fulfillment, and everyone was grateful and knew they were blessed. But it's like there was that one thing missing. I'm noticing on this Three of Coins the dichotomy, the difference between the skull and the snake. And here this finger is pointing to all of the other animals, the humans, the beings in this society. They almost felt like they were not one with the rest of the world. They felt either misplaced or like the black sheep of the family, but the family being Earth, the entire collective. Now, they were a society that many looked up to for a lot of different reasons, but there's still an energy of doing this out of due diligence, because where there is yang, there needs to be yin. I'm getting that many other places on the earth at this time were mechanically advanced or mechanically active, technologically and functionally, and by very nature, there needed to be a society that weighed out the scales on the other side. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1, which indicates that this society began everything that they did from the heart. They were very loving. They were very grateful. They gave as much as they received, and down to the molecule, they made sure everything was balanced out in this sense. But these numbers descending, I'm hearing descendants. One thing this culture did not have the opportunity and privilege to do was leave many descendants. They knew they would be able to pass on their legacy vibrationally, so that is what they focused on. They did not bother much with written word, with art, with creating what we would call now artifacts. But they do still exist, primarily vibrationally. And that is how they leave their mark, their legacy, and this is the way their descendants are found. But one must evolve spiritually to a point of contacting this energy, and that is something that this society wishes almost that they could undo. They wish that they would have grounded their energy a bit more, to leave their mark on the earth more. if you resonate with this culture or this society or this rings any bells for you, you could have been, ever since you were born, very spiritually inclined, very psychic perhaps, have a lot of occult knowledge, or even an excess of imaginary friends when you were younger. It's possible that you could have walked through life seeing other societies and cultures and timelines happening on top of the one that you're currently experiencing. The ability to see through the veil in many different frequencies. And likely, you've experienced a lot of spiritual awakenings in your life. I'm hearing they will only continue. And please keep your feet on the ground. There was some sort of battle that happened here. And they did not have means to protect themselves other than faith and knowledge. And in this culture was mostly pacifist. And they were able to see this coming. They were even able to outwit their opponents. However, they did not have the physical strength and agility in order to maintain their bodies. And that is why they wanted to show me this 4, 3, 2, and 1, because they almost just dissolved all of this work, all of this evolution, all of this perfected vibration to a T. Everything had almost just dissolved in an instant. There was only so much that they could do from a certain point. They can have the clarity and the truth, but they didn't know whether or not to share this because they saw devotion, whereas other societies seemed to be taking. They saw spiritual enlightenment, whereas other societies might have been seeing connection with the earth or mechanical technological evolution. And for this, they were strong. But in their physical bodies, in their vessels, they were weak. Exercise, proper nutrients, drinking enough water, these were not commonplace in the society. You could experience some of these habits or tendencies now. But there was a lot of divine inspiration. I'm getting a strong Piscean energy here. The large mass of this culture was able to heal energetically and was able to create beautiful, beautiful visions and have such beautiful divine creative inspiration from spirit, from source, and they were very creative. But a lot of this didn't get grounded. It got shared vibrationally, energetically, spiritually. But so much art that was never made, so many books that were never written, so much knowledge that was never tangibly passed down. There was almost an assumption here that because they were doing their due diligence vibrationally for the collective of the earth as a whole, they wouldn't need to create this because it would just be solid, it would be stable, it would maintain itself. And unfortunately, in some cases is not what happened, but in other ways, vibrationally, all of this is still accessible, only if you look. I'm hearing that this is accessible with pure intention and correct location. Now, this culture was able to leave some ruins largely ruins and some artifacts, but I'm hearing a lot of them are covered in snow, but they were forged in fire, like a blade. Because of this, these are things that will last for a very long time. And we still have access to a small number, a few, but some of them today. However, most of their artifacts have been mislabeled, misnamed, not even deliberately, but this is just how easily the society vanished. There are so many books that were never read, so many cave drawings or glyphs that have yet to be discovered, because where there was once access to fire, there is now only snow. You could be feeling called to experience extreme cold at this time, or in general throughout your life, because you'll feel called to go where previously there was heat, there was abundance, there was nourishment, nurtureness from Mother Earth. But now there is snow. I'm hearing like mountain ranges and Arctic deserts. Now the society had a choice of whether or not to share their information, and they believed that if one could find this information alone, heal themselves, and then create with it, this energy would permeate, and that everybody could do this. But there was almost an expectation that this is how the future would go. At this time, there were many, many possible timelines that could occur in the future. And I'm hearing, while it was possible, no one could have predicted the way that the Earth went. I'm hearing the phrase, "it took a hard left." They almost expected to not be considered scholarly and spiritually acute and aware at this time. They almost expected to have been considered primal. And this legacy, 9 to 3, there will be, in some way, shape, or form, a reemergence of this energy or this culture or knowledge that this society existed through, I'm hearing, ruins. There have been ruins found of this society, I'm getting, in places that are unsuspecting. But the very fact that they're unsuspecting is the answer. Because it doesn't match what it's currently being labeled at, or it is not congruent with what it is assumed to be. This society has an innocence about them, where it is largely, we have the maiden and the mother here, largely connected with fate. I'm thinking of even the triple moon goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. We have the maiden and the mother here coming out. And with the sun, this is paternal energy. The Empress is maternal energy. I'm hearing the song Rainbow by Kesha in my head. This culture went out happily, with peace. They were at peace. You could, at this time, in this life, in this body, experience a great sense of aloofness. You could be very at peace in your core. You could be very, very creative, and you could love making things, particularly with your hands or with technology. And perhaps there is a bit of feeling lost from home, and you are not able to put your finger on what that means for you. Largely because there is not really knowledge of the society. I'm hearing that there is, if you know where to look. The sources might either surprise you or seem less credible to the evolution, to the please channel. The sources exist, but will be found primarily through vibration, through channeled messages, than they will be through artifacts. Because consciously, they did not leave many books and artifacts and paintings, and they did exist, and some have been found, some will continue to be found, perhaps, but the point here is that you may feel a bit of conflict between a large spiritual nature and a large tangible or mechanical nature. And you are meant to balance the two. You might always feel at home wherever you're at. And this might be because you've never truly felt your home vibrationally. You don't know where to put your feet on the earth in order to feel like you're at home. You could feel called to travel just a lot. Put your feet on the earth in many different places to vibrationally pick up through the soles of your feet where you feel your soul calling you, or where you feel is familiar to you. Your sense of self is extraordinarily authentic. You are able to see truth immediately. Nothing would get past you because you understand things vibrationally. And you all speak the truth, which could be an indication that there could be a battle between the head and the heart sometimes, because you don't always see truth grounded, truth built, but it is everywhere. It might just be reorganized. And you would be able to see precisely through this. You might have experienced some extra struggles in your life because of this, but ultimately this is a gift and a blessing, and this is part of your birthright, your energetic blueprint's birthright. And I feel almost a sadness that this needed to be explained. This energy wants to come through and let you know that it's important to be aware of your physical heritage, your bloodline, but it's so much more important to be aware of your spiritual, your vibrational bloodline, your vibrational blueprint, your vibrational heritage. Because this is not what created your vessels, your veins, your skin, your bones. This is where your consciousness has been before. This is where you have been before. This is your first time in this body, which is on loan. I'm almost seeing a group of souls spending time hanging out together, experiencing each other, experiencing the ether, with knowledge of all of their past lives, their future lives, everywhere they've ever been, every energy each has ever experienced, and just sharing in the bliss of this beautiful Uranian and Neptunian energy. Largely Uranian and a bit ethereal. And this would be where their bodies were they were present, but miles down beneath them on the ground, perhaps sitting around a fire, or in a shelter together meditating, or just sitting, and instead of conversing with their mouths, they joined together in the ether. And this is why the society still exists. And this is why they are still contactable. This is why they had so much knowledge and they didn't bother to write anything down. It's also precisely, exactly why it was so easy for them to be destroyed deliberately. I'm hearing that in the time that it would have taken for the spirits to come back down to the ground in the vessels, the vessels could have already been destroyed. And that's precisely what happened to most of the physical foundation of this culture. There were a few survivors, but they turned into refugees and nomads. And I'm hearing that since then, there has been a large vibrational lock placed on the frequency of the Earth Collective so that this does not happen to the mechanical society, to modern day society. And it's not that individual spiritual attainment is not possible. It still, of course, is. People practice it every day, but this is why it is now not commonplace. There was a deliberate destruction of this society, of this energy, so that their knowledge could be obtained, but this was obtained through spiritual and vibrational work, and consciousness cannot be stolen. A lot of other societies at this time thought that they were living wrong because they did not understand, they could not see or experience what these people were seeing and experiencing. And I'm hearing they wouldn't trade it for the world. That's exactly why they did, in a sense. But they were filled with love. They knew exactly who they were as a community. Although I'm hearing it would have been nice to have the ability to understand the individual sense of self a little more. To learn, not just energetically or by feeling or by learning intuitively, but to sit down and figure out the body from the earth up instead of the other way around. But that's what everyone else was doing. And again, there needs to be great balance. You could feel a very strong need to rationalize everything spiritual that happens in your life. And you could be extraordinarily spiritual, extraordinarily psychic, and you could even resonate with being a starseed, or feel like you are from Inner Earth, or Lemuria, or Atlantis, or somewhere else. You would likely have a lot of access to your past lives, likely having full knowledge of all of them as a child, and needing to rationalize this to yourself as you age through a grounded, tactical, and rational, mathematical approach, so that you can understand that your truth is the truth. And this will also be part of, likely, your life path in some way. I'd like to highlight the fact that there is a great healing ability for yourself and for others that comes along with this. You can manifest, you can create anything that you like. And you are being asked to create something beautiful, create pretty things, I'm hearing. Because that's something that you haven't gotten to experience before. You may have a mild aversion to that which is aesthetically pleasing, to doing things that are not rationally productive or are not spiritually productive, things that are just because, things that are superficial. You're almost being asked, pleaded, they're saying, to indulge in this a little bit more. Find your sense of individuality and create it. Share it with the world. You have 919, which indicates that just as our society and their society both seem futuristic to one another, but there's also a sense to each that they're stuck in the past. And what is in the middle is individuality, is truth, is passion and ferocity and impulsivity, and these initial choices that led a society to begin meditating towards evolution, or led a society to build towards evolution. These are all things that happen in a moment's notice, in a glance. Sure, things take years to develop, but these were impulsive decisions that did not come from a sense of balance. So, develop your sense of self, and you might feel a almost obsessive need to stay balanced extremely in every area of life. And it might have to do with your root chakra, or your root star chakra even. Connecting with inner earth, lost societies, the fairy realm, and higher dimensional consciousnesses could be helpful for your individual exploration at this time, and in general as it pertains to this life. Know that their existence and their destruction was not a lost cause, and because of the ability to see from a higher perspective, they were not even upset about this change. They merely shed their bodies and moved on. You could feel a detachment from your body. You could be the kind of person who inherently is breatharian, where perhaps you use prana or chi or life source energy to charge you, sometimes forgetting to nourish your body. Because you have the secrets of the universe already in the palms of your hand. But please, take care of your vessel. Use this incarnation as an opportunity to speak your truth and create tangible things, and use your hands and use your feet. Dexterity will be very important and very fun, also helpful for you to create from all of this knowledge that you have, because sometimes speaking does the trick, sometimes it does not. Sometimes sometimes sharing a vibration isn't always picked up on. Everyone is no longer is accessing consciously their telepathy, their spiritual gifts. And know that there will be change as it comes to the future, and you will be part of this. So please, do what feels right, do what feels good, continue to stay balanced, but allow yourself more impulse. Allow yourself to shine brightly like the sun, and to experience a grandiose, almost, I'm hearing stern and unshakable sense of self that is creative, and know that you're different through the divine light. Know that your roots are somewhere that has largely been undiscovered until now. And that also could be part of your life path if you have interest in occult knowledge or lost or ancient societies, because you're looking for something. It is not a lost cause. The information is out there. And there are several credible sources that you will not find on your everyday bookshelf. But you can use your intuition and your spiritual knowledge. I'm hearing that they will guide you as to where to look to get the information and knowledge that you need, because it is there. It is present, it is referenceable, and it is tangible. We do have 99 here. Well, 9 and then also 10 with the sun, 1910. You are helping the collective on Earth close out a cycle. And you must allow yourself to experience full personal freedom in order for the restriction of unhealthy energies to occur in the large collective. Your releasing restriction from yourself will increase restriction where it does not belong. Vibrationally, this will balance the scales. "35. You are here to create change. Legacy is within you. It is within your very cells. And taking care of your body, your communication, your mindset, and being strong and abundant in your spirituality and also your finances will be very important and helpful for you. You likely will come into money and material security easily, likely learning first through the spiritual realm and manifestation, and then coming down through building things with your hands. And it will be because you want to. Please spend time to meditate in nature. This will help to polarize your energy and open your crown chakra and send this energy into the earth. I'm hearing, forget about the people. Send the energy to the earth. Send the energy to the atmosphere. Send the energy to the collective. Because everything is connected. We are all one and the same. And that is exactly why mechanical technology has come about the way that it has. That's exactly why spiritual evolution has come about the way that it has. And that is exactly the way that the scales can be balanced again. This group would like to really, really thank you for being here. You gave them a sense of this Four of Wands energy by connecting with this energy today. And this is celebration. This is a happy family, happy home. This is feeling connected with themselves, the earth, and their ancestors, their descendants. And there's not a lot of energetic connection left to this realm apart from vibrational descendants who have largely undiscovered them because of their misidentified artifacts and ruins. Know that if you resonate with 444, 1111 or fire, you are likely in some way, shape, or form connected to this culture. And that is a big indication of how this society has been misidentified over time. When one finds another, and both are vibrationally aware, there is a magnetic, almost addictive pull. And this is because you found someone who feels like home in a world where all memory of your home has largely been erased. And that which exists is called something that it's not. So these are all the messages that would like to be shared today. Oh, one more. Oh, the Petrified Wood would like to send something. Great, detach. This energy, this knowledge, this vibration is very sacred and very close and near and dear to the heart of this Petrified Wood in particular. This crystal was a tree that was a close friend of someone someone in this culture. When this crystal was a tree, one would sit under it and meditate for, I'm hearing, years, and send loving, healing energy to this tree and all trees connected to it, the whole earth, all that was connected to the system of this tree. This Petrified Wood feels like, in a way, this society was their parent, and they were the baby, receiving healing energy from this collective. And so this particular pile is very special to this crystal. Because of this fortitude, this spiritual ability, this ability to transform, enlighten, and still maintain sense of self, is part of the vibration that allowed the wood to stay whole as it was destroyed and then crystallize, but still stay while transformed, intact in its form. Through destruction, through magma, through several extinction events. The destruction of the society is one of the sadder things that this, if not the saddest thing, that this particular crystal has experienced throughout its life. And it's seen a lot of death and destruction. It's also seen a lot of birth and rebirth, transformation. And I'm getting that this crystal gets a lot of its energy from its connection to the society, because they were kind enough to imprint their energy on the earth, even though they didn't have to. And so, this beautiful piece of petrified wood would like to ask you, next time you have a little bit extra to give, whether it be healing energy or love or light or knowledge or excitement, to send it into the earth. Give it to a tree or a plant or a flower. And the earth will be better for it. The collective will appreciate it, and it will not go unnoticed or unrewarded. Aww, I love you, baby. That's so sweet. That concludes this message for Group 2. I would like to thank you so much for being here today. I really hope that this helped shed love, light, and clarity on some of your past experience vibrationally, and also helped connect you with this beautiful, beautiful society, scholarly, very scholarly society. If you feel called or you have an inkling of where to look, follow that. Because that is your intuition trying to lead you to your home. Very precisely, they did not want me to use my clarification deck that I planned on using for this reading. Instead, I only used the Antique Anatomy Tarot, which looks very much like the figures from an anatomy book. And antique, there's something about antiquity. You are an antiquity, just as the society is. I'm hearing Don't Pass Me By the Beatles in my head. So please look where you're feeling called to look today, if you have the space, and be proud of all the reasons that you're different. Because the more open you are about it, the more you will find those who are same to you. Several others that are the same as you. In the spiritual and physical realms. It is merely necessary for one or a few to speak up loud enough for enough to hear to come out of the hiding. Wow. I love you so much, Group 2. Thank you so much for being here today. Let me know what you picked up and how you're experiencing this message in the comments below. And I'm so grateful for you here. Also, if you'd like to share your references and resources that you felt called to from this, go ahead and insert that somewhere too, or share it amongst yourselves. I'd like to wish you a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this realm. And I wish you peace. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and thank you so much for being here. Your reading today is a little bit different than the other two because I felt called actually to channel from my extraterrestrial crystals. These are a tektite, some glass moldavite, and a meteorite. I keep them in this little baggie so that I can keep the energy together for cumulative purposes. And as soon as I tuned into your energy, or the energy of this collective, I immediately felt a need to not use the cards. The message very strongly was coming out to channel the message and not use the cards. The purpose being, the message I kept receiving is the floor is lava, and that third dimensionality cannot yet absorb this message, which is why it needs to be channeled through the fourth. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and channel this message for you without the cards. So please bear with me as I do so, as I've needed to re-record your reading. This will be the fourth attempt, and each time I've done this, it has quite literally channeled me to such a strong and high vibrational loving energy. However, strong to the fact where I almost feel that I am possessed a little bit. So please bear with me if the words that come out of my mouth are a little bit grammatically incorrect, or if they are a little bit weird, or if I talk weird or accidentally speak in the third person, because this happened a few times while I was re-recording your reading. So the messages that want to come out first are, the reason that this energy cannot touch the third dimension is because it comes from a binary system similar to a binary star, but from our universe. If you were to imagine it as a binary system, I'm envisioning a binary system of wormholes, which does exist in our galaxy, but these beings exist within interdimensional folds, which is why in order to refold the universe, it would need to either drag your consciousness elsewhere, or at the very least would not be able to be represented through physicality. Now, these beings can be seen throughout the mind's eye, but they do not appear very often because as they are master healers, they are worrisome that their energy can be taken for granted and that they can be seen as malevolent, although they are not. Due to the nature of their physicality, they might appear to be a bit off-putting, when in fact they are one of the highest vibrational and loving beings that can access people in this realm. They have once walked through the earth, but this was at a time when the earth was not bound to the third and fourth dimensions. During this time, this was before the mass... Oh gosh, what are you saying? This... Sorry, I need to breathe. This is high vibrational for me. Thank you. Yes. Okay. These consciousnesses were once connected with ours because, similar to a binary system, we connect to the same source. However, think of us as point A, source as point B in the middle, and them as point C if you were looking at it in a linear fashion. However, we know that this would take the shape of a quasar, so if you were to best try to locate them, apart from finding them in between the folds of what you would call the grid or the field, there would be indication of them as if on the other side of a wormhole to us in a quasar. So if you visualize a purple and blue, indigo blue quasar, you will be able to tap into this collective consciousness. They work through crystal healing light. This along with a red beam from their third eye is what allows them to directly and precisely, instantly manifest their intentions. Because they are benevolent beings and they are master healers, this is allotted to them, where it is not allotted often on this realm. They do feel the most comfortable in the 9th, 10th, and 11th dimension, but in a parallel reality to what we would have access to as the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th dimension. The reason that the 8th was coming up is because a lot of their star seeds or DNA brethren that have once experienced their consciousness field has needed to come through the 8th dimension, so they might have connections to what feels like Mintanka or Sirius, perhaps even Arcturus, but it will not have felt like this is exactly precise as to where they are coming from. For example, people with this DNA ingrained in their system might feel like they do not resonate with being from any of these places, although these are the closest that they can find to feeling like home. I'm feeling a very large opening in my throat and heart, so please bear with me if my voice is shaky. This collective consciousness, again, once did walk on Earth, and actually there are footprints that you can find, and there are a few artifacts and miscellaneous pieces and remnants of them that have been found but are not able to be recorded or placed. Most of these are kept unknown to the public, although there are a few that have reached public, and to them it is kind of funny because a lot of people do not understand why or what these things are or why they have been able to access Earth, although it is very clear that they are not from here or a society as we know it. They laugh because this has something to do with the fact that we have found paintings or pictures of people who are using things that seem like an iPhone or a computer, although this should have been way before the time that humanity even discovered the written word. At the same time, this collective would like to introduce to the world the fact that they have the opportunity to use crystal healing light, which is different from golden source healing light and different from Reiki and other forms of energy healing and light work, which is known as light work and energy work in our realm. However, they were not the first practitioners of energy work, but they were the first ones to introduce it to our realm. Crystal healing light is a different form of using the interdimensional folds in order to rearrange and change the shape of the timeline and time-space that is physically malleable in our realm and therefore within our DNA. Because of this being is very simultaneously all around us and at the same time unreachable at the same time. For this very reason, it is very important that those who do light work and energy work continue down their path, because through this ascension, the ascension of light work, the ascension of energy work process, they will be able to graduate in a sense to crystal healing light. And this is more than using the colors of the rainbow and tuning in chakras. This is understanding the alchemy that created the energy of the chakras. This is introducing themselves to the gifts that have been bestowed onto Earth, which was once a black, white, and gray scale, which those who have been able to connect to this consciousness, understand why in the beginning there was dark and then there was light, which, although this was not necessarily the case, was also exactly the case because this was a gift. Now, this consciousness does understand that there are a lot of religious, political, and societal stigmas that go against their very nature as a being, as well as the fact that the entities and beings that are physically present on this planet Earth as part of the Earth collective, they said Earthian collective, is beings that most humans either fear or see as fearsome, weird, unrecognizable, or in some way, shape, or form seeming to be gross. And this has been consciously chosen by people who have understood and met this collective of entities. However, even those among starseeds are very rare to have been found from this collective. They do exist, but they are very, very few and far between. There are typically only between 8 and 12 on the planet at the time, because that is the most amount of this vibrational DNA that can be held at the same time. There may be traces of this DNA through others who resonate with Andromeda or with Sirius. However, those who have actually experienced this interdimensionality will understand that you must experience the entire Kabbalah in order to travel from them to Earth. If you have traveled this, you will understand. If not, this is a means of alchemy that we recommend you looking into. This is because physics, chemistry, society is very close to understanding why. In fact, they have reached the answer several times, but every time they do, they choose to take a detour in order to throw the public away from this mass recognition. There is a severe split between public and private science, and this has been known for a very long time. In fact, beings from this collective have even tried to connect with different governments on the planet in order to help the collective raise in vibration, but they were honestly disinterested. Now, it's important that you understand that the nature of this collective is childlike at heart. They are very loving, they are very playful, and they love to dance, they love to sing, they love the arts, and they love things that are made by hand. Also, these beings love to be, they love to enjoy, they love to experience, which is why the realm looks the way that it does. Everything that we see through their perspective. Our eyes were taken shape after them. And when we see those eyes more precisely mapped out in nature, we honestly look at them and sometimes fear them. Now, a lot of this time, this collective is misunderstood. And now, they would like to share with you more about their time on Earth, as well as a little bit about their collective and why you might be hearing this message or resonating with parts of their DNA at this time. There's an activation that is going on Earth, but there is also a block through the third and partially fourth dimensions right now. There's a split that is going on happening in the timeline. Because of this, some will be carried through and others will be left behind, although when the timeline shifts, there will be no physical apparent change. It will just be a change in vibration. As this crack has already happened, it will be necessary that those who are hearing this message continue to move towards their light and continue to move towards their energy work and practice whatever that resonates with for them a little bit more difficult, a little bit more strongly at this time. The reason for this is because there is a new Earth that is happening, but this is not physically taking place with the planet Earth, and this does not have anything to do with whether or not the Earth survives, because the Earth will always survive whether there is a mass extinction event or not, and whether or not the sun explodes a few years early or a few years late. Nevertheless, these things were always meant to happen, but this timeline shift is very important because some of you will be accepted into our interdimensional fold after you ascend. Others of you will be sent back to reincarnation cycles. This is a part of the way that it works, but this is an event that has not happened since our time when we were connected with the planet Earth physically. This is a timeline break. This is the second and only the second time that this has happened on the planet of Earth. It is very important that through the third dimension, you might feel like you are starting to levitate. You might have a harder time grounding your energy at this time, but it is because you are meant to cut out the lower vibrations within you. And some of this does include what is currently being acknowledged to you as the energy of Earth. The Schumann resonance is not really the vibration of the Earth. It is the vibration of the collective as it is being told to vibrate. This is a large misunderstanding, as it does not take into consideration the vibrations of the lives in inner Earth. The lives in inner Earth are very, very connected to us. In fact, we have higher access to them than we do for you. Their vibration is a lot higher than yours, and they're constantly sending the collective of the outside of the 3D Earth realm a lot of energy and love. Particularly, the beings that resonate and look the most like us, that live on the outside of the 3D Earth realm, have actually come from inner Earth in order to help a healing mission. Now, because 2 is better than 1, we have decided to leave traces of us on the outside of planet Earth, although we knew it was dangerous. We believe that this might be what caused this timeline split. There are mentions of us in the Bible and even in the Dead Sea Scrolls, particularly the Book of Enoch, and if you look for traces through Atlantia, Lemuria, anywhere else, and inner Earth, journey to the center of the Earth, you will find traces of us. We are not named by name, but you will find our energy throughout these indications and throughout these pages. If you feel called to listen to this message, please look. It is very important that at this time we get our message across, and that you continue to ascend past the 12th dimension, which is what a lot of people call their end game or their ascension process. Now, ascension, in and of itself, it means to move past the 12th dimension, which is source. Which means that this source is not source. This is similar to how the sun is the center of the solar system. Source is the center of some consciousnesses, and just like this, if you were to think of that, even that is in a binary system. And even that unit is in a binary system. There's always a larger ascension process, and because of this, we can travel to existing interdimensional folds that are accessible to near you if you are ascended enough to access the 12th and further dimensions at will. It is very difficult for us to channel our messages. However, those of us who have access to us, we almost never leave alone. For this reason, it is because we always feel excited to connect with the Earth Collective, because it reminds us of our ancestors and it reminds us of what our home once was. We do retain the memory, as all of us retain all of the same memories and are able to collectivize our memories at will. And all of us are aware of all of the places that each particle of our DNA has existed at one point. However, we do each individually maintain our individualization and collectivization at the same time. We're very innocent, we are very pure, and as we said, we are master healers. We are master manifestors is what you would call them, but we really are able to manipulate the realm. We manipulate the DNA. We are the ones that manipulate the energy fields. And because of this, it is very important that you continue to do the same. Every single one of you who is listening to this message has this gift, this skill, this ability. And this is why you might find yourself manifesting things more easily than the rest. This is why you've been very psychic from a very young age, and this is why you do not feel like you can call Earth home, as well as many other star systems that other starseeds recognize as home. You can see starseeds just the same as the collective of Earth, as energies who are yet to ascend to where you come from. And this is because if you tune into the energy of a quasar, imagining this binary star system, but you use this universe as you know it as one of the pieces of the binary, you're able to understand that this is further than this. Likely at a young age you mastered energy balancing, energy healing, and you might have healing hands or be able to set an intention very easily. You're being encouraged at this time to visualize a red or blue or golden healing laser coming out of your third eye, and this will help channel and manifest your intentions. However, your intention must be of a certain vibration or higher in order for this to work. The reason for this is because we have a block between our realm and your realm, and if anything is not for the purest intention, which you must travel to higher dimensions and access your higher consciousness before you are able to fully devise which intentions are the purest versus which are carnal wants. Carnal wants and desires are being eliminated from your being, and this is exactly why the timeline is shifting. You have always felt this coming, and this is why you might have had visions of the future for a very long time, and maybe felt a break at this point in your life, or coming up very soon. The reason for this, your experience of a new dimension, a new place of being, you might have felt that you would pass away at a certain point, or you might feel that you will be ascended or completely a spirit, or might even feel like you are about to levitate at certain times. You might have had this vision for a very long time, coming up to a point that you are nearing at this point. This is indication of the timeline shift within you and within the collective. These are not things that you are experiencing alone, although it may feel like it. You are not alone in this experience, and you are not alone in your inability to ground to the current resonance of the earth. This is also very intentional and was chosen by your being. The reason for this is because you are not just here to help the Earth Collective, as you see further than this. You are not just here to help the Syrians, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Mintakans, who are still alive, by the way. You are not just here to help these collective consciousnesses, but you are here to help collective consciousnesses beyond source. You are here to help literally what is considered as source, as God, as consciousness, life force, energy to many on this realm, to actually evolve and ascend this energy as a whole. And that it can only be seen by looking at it from a place external to this, because this seems few and far between, likely within you who are listening to this. It is very important that you continue your journey, because as you are aware that you are a part of this, you are aware that you can also manipulate this through your energy work. This is where your healing energy comes in. This is why you are called. It's also very important that you recognize at this time that your messages may not be always received the most easily. And this is because you are not from this place. You do not have memories from this place. And this place will not likely open you with welcome arms if they are trying to drag the collective to a point of accepting the lower vibrational half of this timeline break. But it is important that the timeline does shift. I have had some technical difficulties trying to get the rest of this reading out to you, and this is already the fourth, I can't even keep count at this time, try that I have tried to record this message, but the vibration keeps coming through and sending technical interruptions through my physical microphone and affecting my phone, actually. So I'm going to use the tarot cards, and I took off my mic for this bit of the reading just so that the audio would definitely come through. So if it sounds a little bit different, I'm sorry. Please, can I get some... Don't take that. Can I please get some flying cards for a collective message for those that are listening to group 3, please, that resonate with the message that I have recently channeled. And thank you. Okay, so you want me to... No, they're saying no reversals and take the 4 that are on top apart from what just flew. So we have the Fool, have faith, Lovers, both masculine. This has 6 Lovers cards, and Fortitude with Strength, card number 8. We have the Queen of Coins. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay, beautiful. We have the Queen of Coins, the Knight of Wands, and the Magician. Oh wow, already this is raising my vibration again. Here we go. So we have the Fool, the Lovers, Fortitude, with the Queen of Coins, Knight of Wands, and the Magician. So you are to have faith that you are going to be drawn exactly where you need to go. There's an energy that is thinking about you, that has you in mind, and you are both simultaneously healing. Now, the fact that you got the double masculine and the arrows pointing down, this indicates a lack of awakening in the sacral chakra or creative energies. The best thing that you can do is have faith that you create and keep creating and keep creating. This is the best thing that you can do at this time. Whatever it is that your skill, your craft, or even your whims are drawing you to, it's important that you just show up and create. This is reminding me of origami, and I'm also seeing in Jane the Virgin how she has like a flower given to her from her grandma, and she's like, this is your virginity. If you crumble up the flower, it's always going to be crumbled, or whatever, something like this. So this is your creativity. So there's a flower that is within you that is trying to blossom, and this has to do with your sacral chakra in some way, shape, or form. This will have to do with the water element, with pleasure, with sensuality, with recreation, in any shape of the term, very literally. So do not allow this flower to crumble. It is blossoming, so allow it to continue to finish blossoming. There's a lot of masculine energy that's going on right now in your higher chakras, so it's important that you bring these higher chakras to the lower chakras, because it's important that you continue polarizing. That's what's going on right now on a collective consciousness level. With strength, you've shown a lot of confidence in who you are, so please continue to evolve this. This is coming under the solar plexus chakra, which lets me know that you could have a lot of fire right now. If you're feeling a little bit oily, there's a little bit of acne, or you're just feeling very fiery, a little bit of tension in your heart, shortness of breath. This is actually a good sign. Please maintain your health so that you do not continue experiencing these symptoms, but strengthen your being and watch your diet so that you can and drink more water so that you can continue to channel these messages. This is good. This is fire. This is the divine flame that is coming through. Since you've polarized your energy, it is not the sun kind of fire that normally the solar plexus is. This is actually the violet flame of healing energy and healing light that comes from a refraction of crystal healing light, that when it comes into the realm and is heated to a certain perspective or a certain amount, it actually becomes a violet flame. This is similar to who's the keeper of the violet flame, please? Pallas Athena, I believe. So you can look into her. Also, Venusian energy was coming up a bit before the Hathors. I don't remember if that was in the part of the reading that I had to cut out or not, but tune into your Venus. The reason that you have Venus in your chart, wherever it is because this is part of your soul path. Now, this is not typically what Venus represents in the soul path per se, but this will let you know why your morals and values are the way that they are, because this is supposed to help you individually to tend to your craft, tend to your creativity. There we go, thank you. Queen of Coins, Knight of Wands, the Magician. There will be material abundance coming towards you. It has been slow because there's a sense of you needing to stand in your full confidence, because when you use it, it's going to
exponentially multiply. When this happens, there will be like a halo of light around you. There probably already is, but there's been an energy of going from lack to abundance, going from zero to hero, from zero to queen. This will happen very, very quickly, and this is likely something you've been working on manifesting for a long time, but your culmination of this energy is coming through at a particular time and a particular point in your life for a reason. Likely this point in your life where there is this crack. Likely you've been preparing for this moment in your life for a very, 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 very long time, and have a lot of different ways that it can go through. Likely when you access this point in your life, through whatever your clear ability is, you might see a bright light, or you might see yourself ascended, or you might see parts of your childhood, or you might see some kind of light or healing, or entities that that are not here, or you might even experience yourself experiencing other collective consciousnesses that do not belong on Earth. You could even see yourself like levitating or hanging out with entities like in the fairy realms or things like this. This is because this is significant of your next spiritual awakening, and this will be because you literally cannot fathom at this point what is ahead, although you are starting to pick up on it, and this ascension and awakening process for you has already begun. You are already most of the way there. However, your future at this point is going to look entirely different from the way it does now, because there is literally going to be a timeline hop. You're going to literally wake up one day and your life will be entirely different. You will get a job offer, you will get an opportunity to move, you will get a love coming into your life, you will get a ton of money, things that will change your life drastically and absolutely exponentially, and they will happen in the blink of an eye. So when this happens, it will happen quickly, and it will happen as it pertains to your manifestation. So make sure that you're watching exactly what it is you're manifesting and how at this time, because you're a very powerful manifester, particularly with your speech. So if you're scripting or using sex magic in any way, shape, or form, know that this is working, and it is very, very, very powerful. Everything needs to come at the exact time and place that it will be the most beneficial for you, but because you've been manifesting so hard, and because you've been really trying to create these changes, you've put the effort in, you've done the work, and you've likely gone through a lot more than the regular rest of the collective consciousness on Earth, being from the fact that you have come from a higher collective consciousness, and so you have a lot more density to fill within your being. You've needed to process a lot more trauma than the average person. This has not been unseen. This will not go unrewarded. For this reason, your feminine energy is materializing, and your masculine energy is etherealizing. This is exactly going the way that it was always meant to happen. So please have faith in your manifestations. Know that you're going from 0 to 1, but the 0 to 1 did not happen without a 6 and an 8 and a queen and a knight. There's so many things going on behind the scenes, and there are so many entities and energies around you. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. They have all the answers for you, and I'm getting that they've already given you your clarity several times. But sometimes it's easy when you vibrate to a high place, or when you open up your chakras, or you expand to a higher collective consciousness, sometimes drawing the energy down, things will get rewoven again. So continue to create those clear energy channels. So if you have an energy practice such as Reiki or energy work, light work, or Qigong, or something like this, yoga, it can be very, very helpful to maintain that energy channel. Imagine it coming from your original collective consciousness, or whichever collective consciousness you are trying to tune into, and allow this to draw itself all the way down. They're saying, stop after your sacral chakra. Do not go down to the earth, because you do not want to give this energy to the earth right now. It's important that you save this at the earth. And you might even feel like you're going to levitate at some point in time. For some of you, it might even be possible. I don't really know who's listening to this reading, but just know that there's an indication that you might feel like you're going to break free from the earth's collective consciousness. You might feel like at some points, if your physical body, your physical vessel wasn't so healthy, you're ascending to the point where you might almost feel like you're dying. You might feel like you are ascending, like you are being reborn every single second that you are alive. You might literally feel like there's going to be light glowing out of your skin, glowing out of your eyes, glowing out of everything. This was meant to happen. Don't be afraid. This is also why you're not intended to fully ground this energy yet, because you're meant to ground it through your creativity, through the things that you are making, through your craft. That's why you have these special gifts at this time, and that's why you've been so creatively impulsive at this time too. That's also why certain things are working for you and certain things are not. At the time that I've been recording this, for example, I make content, obviously, and a lot of my content has been randomly uploading audio, randomly cutting out, randomly working, randomly not working. Some things I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just upload a song to SoundCloud today. I'm literally not a singer. Or sometimes I'll try to upload a tarot reading, and the audio just cuts out once it's been on YouTube for a couple days. It just randomly goes away, and I'm like, okay, electrical interference during a particular transit much? It's so random, but it's not random at all whatsoever. So if things like this are happening to you, know that this is not happening at you. This is happening for you in some way, shape, or form. But I'm hearing leave it as evidence too. Leave it as evidence, so that you can see that Vibrations are malleable. Electricity is malleable. One day something will be there, the next day it won't, the day after that it will. That is just the nature of the beast. That's literally the way that timeline hopping works. So, also, if you are working on timeline hopping, or you have friends, friends who are helping you shift timelines, or trying to raise your consciousness to a particular level, or having you leap from the Earth's collective consciousness to theirs in a particularly permanent form, know that it's important that you continue this channel and maintain it within yourself. This is also why you're not meant to ground it all the way at this time, because this is not happening to everyone, this is not happening for everyone, and this energy does not belong to everyone. And so it's very important that this does not get dispersed willy-nilly. That's why likely you're isolated right now. That's why likely some things are randomly working out in your favor, other things randomly are not right now. That is why some people are magnetizing towards you, and other people are running for the hills. Everything is exactly precisely the way that it's meant to be right now. You are meant to observe if you'd like, but your job right now is to meditate, practice your energy, and do your crafts, whatever they are. Even if it seems random, they're not. If you feel the need to organize. If you feel the need to transmute energy, change yourself, change your hair, take out some piercings, add some tattoos, whatever this is, do this. You are getting ready for your next timeline, and this is something that is going to happen instantaneously when it's meant to happen, and you've always had a feeling that this rift was going to come in your future for you at some point in time. Now, as far as the other people around you, you know how timeline shifts work. Sometimes you wake up and your friend has blue hair, and they're like, what do you mean? I've always had blue hair. Other days you wake up and everything is exactly the same except the amount of money in your bank. You know, other days you wake up and this one feels different. This one feels way different. It feels huge. You could wake up and literally feel like you reincarnated, and maintain your energy, maintain your memory. Likely similar to what happened to you when you incarnated in this realm, if you're here listening to this reading and it resonates for you. So with that being said, we have the Queen of Coins to the Knight of Wands to the Magician. These cards all are going up. They are all waxing. We have the Fool we have 0 to 6 to 8. This is a big shift. We have the Queen of Coins to the Knight of Wands to the Magician. This is saying it's all in your hands. Focus on your energy. You have all the tools that you need, and everything around you is reflecting a part of you. So you are either going to disperse it or magnetize it. Be careful and be aware. I'm also seeing confetti, so I'm feeling your angel spirits and guides like applauding you right now for all the hard work that you've done. And you know that you, in the physical realm, you might not feel as seen as you are in the spiritual realms, but there's a reason for this as well. It's because in your next timeline, you might feel like you are the spiritual support, and you might feel like a spirit guide for others. And in this physical part of the realm, this is where you will be receiving the support and the abundance, whereas most of your life up until this point, it's been the other way around. This is almost feeling like, this is weird, because this is almost feeling like someone who's gonna like, no, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to put it on you, but this is literally feeling like you coming back as a spirit guide in some way, shape, or form. This is next gen you, next level, the next evolution of you. This is like waking up and being a Pokemon that's the next evolution, and being like, wait, wasn't I like a tiny little thing earlier? But then you wake up and you can like breathe fire and all this crazy shit. So your connection to the spiritual realms is going to become so much more normalized to you that is literally where you're going to be walking 99% of the time. The physical realm is going to now be a byproduct of the spiritual work that you've done. Because of this, you put so much work in the physical realm in order to get to this place. So while things literally polarize and literally flip, you've been asked likely recently to polarize your chakras and then move through your heart center and then re-clear all the energy channels, tuning it to nothing, tuning it to space, tuning it to, well, even space, not even light, because past the light and dark dichotomy, there is space. So tuning everything to space, opening up the heart, keeping that channel clear, and continuing to raise your vibration, and then raise your vibration, send it down, and then cut out the bottom. Raise your vibration, send it down, and then cut off the bottom. And whatever this ends up doing with your physical body, make sure that you're taking care of it, make sure that you're exercising, make sure that you're taking care of your skin, your hair, your teeth, because we're not trying to die, we're not trying to ascend and leave our bodies, right? Unless you're literally trying to like pass away and like achieve samadhi, but that is not the goal, that is not the soul mission here. Okay, I'm hearing be careful of that, because through this you can achieve samadhi state. Likely you have several times already, you know where to access it. This is beautiful, this is amazing, but you want to make sure that you stay in your body so that you continue doing your work, because you chose to be here and you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to energy work. So make sure that you are, as I said, raising it, keeping a channel, cutting out the bottom, send it back to sender, put it wherever it goes. Everything disperses where it's needed the most. So set that intention, and continue doing your thing and strengthen your vessel. Please strengthen your vessel. This spiritual awakening is no joke, and it's going to show up physically, and it's literally going to, like, your jaw's going to drop, the people around you, their jaws are going to drop. This is something that's big. Even I cannot predict it at this point in time. I can just feel the energy, and it's literally like, I have goosebumps, I'm trembling, and I've literally needed to re-record this reading like 9 trillion times, as I've said before. So keep doing what you're doing. You are very strong. This has not gone left unseen. And then there's energy with 8 and 1, number 9. There's an energy of freedom and travel that's coming towards you. This could be journeying, astral journeying. Astral journeying all over the earth. There's an indication of, like, you've beaten all the levels of the video game, and you had it on hard the whole time. You walk around, you see people with it on easy or like easy to medium, and you're like, oh my gosh. And you're like, you just succeeded level hard, and now you get to go like free world it, like open world it, you know what I mean? That's exactly what's going on right now. So make sure you stay in your body, but keep your channel open to your sacral. Let the earth be the earth, and just set the intention. If you levitate, so be it. If your consciousness goes to a different, how do I say this? If you levitate, so be it. If you resonate with a collective consciousness, your original collective consciousness instead now, so be it. This is the way it was always meant to be. My dog is drinking water, and I am feeling very like filled with vata, with air and space from this channeling this message. So please go drink some water, drink extra water, and when things come up, drink water. This helps process emotions. I'm not really feeling that you have anything stuck in your emotions still at this point through this energy, but stretch your glutes, relax your psoas by laying on your back. Savasana is the only position you can rest your soul muscle. So please do your Savasanas. Please spend some time meditating. Please raise your vibration. Do your practice a little bit extra at this time. Drink extra water. These changes are going to come. They're going to be physical, and it's going to smack you in the face in the most beautiful ethereal way ever. Do not send this to others. Do not send this to the earth. This is for you, so that you can make a bigger impact for yourself and for others and the collective that you actually belong to. So, wowza. With that being said, I really hope this reading helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation, Group 3. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation, wherever it is that you're going. And thank you for listening to this message, because that was high vibrational. You're high vibrational, and this was beautiful and amazing. And I'm just glad that we were able to exchange energy, and that I could channel this for you, because clearly someone really, really needed to hear this message. So thanks again for being here. Namaste. Literally. Namaste.